Welcome back to our weekly walkthrough where we bring the above, below, and talk about the transits you should know. Okay, so we're going to see if we can sneak this one through the robot brigade that keeps eating my videos. See if we can get it in one, guys. All right. This is our week of September 8th through the 14th. We're going to jump straight in with our card of the week, Knight of Wands. This is a pretty gnarly one. Like, he's moving through brambles, he's moving through difficulties, but he's ready. And so this is like kind of the week where I want you to become the big bad. I want you to become the thing that goes bump the night. We've been exhausted by Eclipse Dragon action, and we're just fresh off of Sunday's Pisces lunar eclipse. And we do, like, I don't want to say we have a full reprieve, but kind of, like, as much of a reprieve as we get when we're in eclipse season. And with that, it's really about making the most of this time as we're moving away from the first level of fatigue and before we get closer to the second one on the 21st. So really use this time to take action. Like, find your footing again, move forward. And with Monday's theme, we have the whole reversed. And so this is very much about, like, what is missing? And it's not what's missing in your life externally. Like, that's an easy way to distract yourself. Like, oh, I don't have this thing. It's about, what are you ignoring in here? What pieces are you failing to put into place? What have you not really addressed? And, you know, for half the day, we're still in the Pisces moon. We're still feeling that full moon energy. And at 11:43 a.m., the moon does conjunct Saturn retrograde in Pisces at 29 degrees, which is kind of this exit point where there is this moment of like, can we do this? And if you feel that despair, if you feel that doubt, if you feel that exhaustion flare, listen to it. It doesn't mean that it's completely speaking the truth, but it is telling you something important. And then we get our Aries moon, which will immediately smack over into Neptune, have a nice little quickie chat with Uranus, and then Pluto. And so that's the afternoon, kind of checking in with the outers, like, oh, where are we? What are we going to do? Oh, I need to act on this, don't I? And so Monday, you know, there is a lot of reflection, but also kind of coming up with, like, what is your body saying needs to be done about these things? And, you know, if there are doubts and fears, that's okay. But again, we're holding them lightly right now because it's all part of a larger story. Don't take reactions to things. We want to take actions, which means slowing down enough to consider them. So on Tuesday, we get the priestess. Not the high priestess, but we have our diviner dropping the cards, eyes closed. And for me, this card really comes up when it's about that inner knowing. It's about, like, what truth are you carrying all the way forward versus the idea of, like, oh, I have to go out and seek it. I have to use my tools. I have to ask all these other things. It's like the inner knowing day. And we really just have the moon trine Leo Venus and square Jupiter, and that's all in the evening mountain time. So we're still processing yesterday's stuff. But again, we're coming into that Aries agency. We're coming into the, what do I actually intuitively feel about this? We move over to Wednesday, and now we are in our waning gibbous. We will have an opposition between Moon and the Mars at 12:53 a.m. If you're a night owl or in one of our earlier time zones, I do want you to be careful with your body. There can be some tension there, even though there is a slight bit of reception. And I also just want you to maybe go a little bit slower Wednesday. We do have a domicile Mercury that is also exalted in Virgo, so Wednesdays go fast. Like, the Virgo season does have kind of the jitters right now. It's a little bit of the caffeine high. At 11:19 p.m., we have the sun opposing the North Node, which is going to echo back to the eclipse. And it's going to really be like, okay, what was that again? What did we figure out on Sunday? What was illuminated? And Then right after that, at just after 2 p.m., we get the moon moving into exaltation in Taurus. Hooray! Also, good for Jupiter. And then the moon will square Pluto a few hours later. So on Wednesday, like putting all of this together, we have the 9 of coins reversed. And this is about, again, we're doing a lot of inner work this week. Like it really does feel kind of shadow worky, especially with that gnarlier Knight of Wands as our main theme. And this is like, okay, what am I grateful for? What did I get out of that eclipse? Like normally we don't want to say we're getting things out of eclipses, especially when we're mid-story. But in this case, it was a little bit more benefically inclined. And even if it was rough, it's like, all right, what were the lessons though? What did I learn from that? What options were made available to me that wouldn't have been otherwise? And what am I grateful for that I've been learning this eclipse season? What can I put in order? And where do I need to adjust the ground and adjust my garden so I can feel more abundant? Because sometimes what we got out of it is realizing, oh yeah, we need more. Like going back to that Monday hole card. It's like, oh, what is missing here? What plant do I need to be putting in this hole so that there's something growing in it and it's not just a void? Moving over onto Thursday, Mercury following the sun opposes the North Node. And Thursday's interesting because all of our transits, like that first transit Thursday, is at 7:58 p.m. So like Thursday, Jupiter Day, we're just kind of like coasting, and then we get a busier evening where the Taurus moon also ends up talking to the node, to Mercury, the sun, and Jupiter, and those are all pretty harmonious aspects. So other than that Mercury node opposition, which also means that Mercury will be conjunct the south node, so that does feel like some evening brain drain. I wouldn't necessarily encourage waiting to do mental tasks until later in the day because it may be a little bit harder to think. And it's better for more like embodied knowing, like letting your body facilitate the communication. And with that, we are dealing with our 7 of Swords reversed friend here. And this is that overburden. This is like, I have taken on so many different ideas and thoughts and projects and things and stuff from other people. And now I'm like caught in the consequences of this and can't really carry it anymore. So this isn't a problem you can outthink. You have to figure out what do you have to do with all this stuff that you've got. We jump over to Friday, and we get a little bit more active on Friday. The Taurus moon will square Leo Venus just before 1 a.m. And then the Virgo sun and Jupiter have a nice little chat. The moon and Saturn have a nice little chat. Then the moon moves over at 3:38 p.m. into Gemini. Mercury and Jupiter again consulting. Like Friday afternoon is actually good, like philosophical brain dialogue time, especially because then the Gemini moon talks to our outers again. We have Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto all having a conversation. And this is the Emperor reverse. So I wouldn't necessarily use all this energy for career stuff or work stuff, but more for like, all right, personal development. Like, what am I doing? What are my journals saying? Like, what is my work right now this eclipse season? And where do I need to step into it so I can be moving in a more empowered way? On Saturday, we have not a whole lot. We have our Mercury Sun Cazimi at 20 degrees, and that will occur at 4:51 a.m. Mountain Time. And then the moon will square the nodes from Gemini. Also for our asteroid peoples, Vesta will move into Sagittarius. This is the alleyway. This is our liminal space. This is where we're getting some clarity eclipse season, like from Mercury, like, oh, that's what this is all about. That's where we are. Like, we're still not where we're going, but now we're like, oh, but I know why I'm here. I know how to get where I'm going. Oh, I know who that person was. Like, this is where we're looking for some clarity. And then finally, on Sunday, we have our half moon, and moon squares sun, moon squares Mercury, chats with Venus, trines Mars, chats with Chiron, squares Saturn, then moves over into Cancer at 6:30 p.m. and squares Neptune. And with that, This is about finishing off our transformation work, folks. This is about having fun with it. Let me know what you think in the comments.